All right, we are live, and yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. I'm actually doing a video early in the morning. This is probably the earliest video I've ever done since I've been doing YouTube, because I used to work until about 4 o'clock in the morning, so getting up this early would not be a normal thing for me. But I was really excited for this batch of comics, to the second batch of PGX books, which, by the way, technically I'm sponsored by PGX by this, but I mean, I don't get paid by them. I don't have any contracts signed. I always want to make sure I make that very clear. But they do give me a discount on the grading, which helps me. Helps them hopefully by getting them a customer or two, by giving them a try if the person has never used PGX before. And I want to make sure there's always a benefit for you guys, because if you send in 10 or more comics to PGX and use the code We Love Comics Free Press, you can get one of your comics pressed for free. I always recommend that you mention which one you would like to get pressed. Otherwise, they'll just randomly pick one. But it's a nice offer for you to give a try. I have been using PGX now every month, where I send in 4 books every month for getting close to 7 years now. It's over the 6.5 year mark. And not one of my cases have ever come back damaged or cracked or anything. Their shipping and handling is amazing. They're very fast. They are the most inexpensive of all the major grading companies. Their pressings and dry cleanings, which are in-house, are top notch. They do signature verification, and definitely worth giving a try. The cases, as far as I'm concerned, they may not be the most beautiful. I'll give that to CGC. But like I said, I've never had a PGX case crack. And as a matter of fact, I've had 2 CGC cases crack when I moved here. None of my PGX did. So, I mean, it could have been just location or whatever, but I had no problem with them. That's why I always do these live. So there's no editing, there's no trickery, there's no nothing like that. I just share the experience, and hopefully you will see it for what it is and not what people try and say on the internet. Because as we could see these days, a lot of stuff you see on the internet is not what you think it is, which is unfortunate. And I try and be as honest as possible. That's why I do these live. So there is no trickery. It's just this is what it is. So Douglas Boggs, welcome. Good morning. I was telling people this video wasn't going to come out until this afternoon, but I was just, like I said, very excited to do this. So I'm sure many people will not see this until later. Let's give a shout out to my Patreon members. If you want to join my Patreon, just go to patreon.com/we love comics. The minimum to join any Patreon is $2. So if you want to join in, it helps support my channel, and it also helps support 20 plus stray cats that I take care of every day. As a matter of fact, since I've moved here from New York in 2019, I have officially missed 3 times feeding the cats. And that is both night and day. So a total, not 3 days, 3 times. I've been sick, I've been hospitalized, but my life is those cats. So most of the money that goes to from my Patreon people actually help contribute to saving their lives. I got them fixed so they cannot have any more cats. I literally go out there for an hour or two and take care of them. So the support goes to a good cause. I have a video of showing my routine so you can see I'm not one of those people that makes up stuff to try and get sympathy. I think that's kind of sad and taking advantage of people if you're gonna, you know, talk about stuff you're not doing or embellish it. I think that's sad, and I would never do that to you guys. And I think that my viewers know me at this point, that I'm a straight shooter. So if you join my Patreon, you'll get a shout out in every single video. Once I get to 20 Patreon members, we're still at 12. It stayed that way for a while, but I'm very appreciative of the 12 that are doing it. If we get to 20 people, I start giving giveaways. So hopefully you guys will spread the word and maybe get somebody to join up, or you do it yourself. Because like I said, the minimum to join any Patreon is $2. So I'm not telling anybody, oh, you have to spend thousands of dollars, because, times are hard for everybody. But Carl, Sith, Scott, Michael B, Kevin W, James R, Herbert R, Dan L, Kim N, Annabelle N. If you have Facebook, please check out Darth Bleak at Stephen L. Turk, author. He just wrote a book. My wife is currently finishing up reading it. Absolutely loved it. He's doing a series of books. Just finished the first one, getting ready to do the second. I'm not sure if it's completed yet, but about a week ago, he agreed because of my idea. It wasn't even his. So I really appreciate that he did it. That he's doing a contest where he's giving away his first book and he's signing it for you. Only one person has entered the contest. I really hope somebody will to join in. Um, by Monday, I will pick a winner, and if it's the only person that joined, they'll be the winner. I feel bad for him because this is costing him money to send it out, and it wasn't even his idea. I want people to know that I came up with it, and he agreed. So go to Stephen L. Turk, author, on Facebook. Tell him We Love Comics sent you. And then last but not least, if you have Instagram, go to Silver Age Surfer _comics. And again, tell him We Love Comics sent you. These are the giveaways. If we get to 20 paid members, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. You could pause it to see the different types of giveaways that I'm going to have. Again, there is no minimum to enter the contest, but for every $2 you put into your We Love Comics monthly account during the contest time, you will get one entry per every $2. So the more you put in, the more chances of being able to win. So if you want to see that, you can pause it and watch that at your own leisure. These are books I'm trying to acquire via trade. At this time, I just don't have the money to be able to purchase something like an Amazing Fantasy 15. But trades, I have plenty of comics to be able to do that. So if somebody has an extra comic that's on this list, or something that you think I might be interested in of that caliber, contact me at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. Let's make this happen because I am very determined. I'm going to keep doing this until I get at least one. I acquired one of these books about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and if you want to know what it is, check out the video I did. But it was not via trade. I was lucky enough to have my mother and my wife loan me the money to be able to make the purchase, and my mother told me it was a birthday, Christmas, anniversary present, which I'm perfectly well. That was my idea. But anyway, if you want to do a trade, it's a good way to be able to acquire books without spending lots of money, especially with taxes. You're talking with books of these caliber, you're spending literally $300 to $500 in taxes. So that's extra money saved. And you don't have to report this to the IRS because trades are non-taxable. So it's a smart move. Let's make it happen. Contact me at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. So Punisher XS is also here. Comics Corner. I don't think I've seen you here before. Says good morning and welcome. And Florence, long time no see. I hope you're doing well. One of my moderators. Good to see you. All right, so let's put on the live video so you can see this is box number 2, has not been opened. They had a little bit of a delay with their grading at one point, so instead of just sending one, they were kind enough to send 2, and I just didn't want to do them all at one time because, I want to make sure you guys got content. So the first one wasn't from yesterday wasn't as good as I hoped, but sometimes, like they say, you win some, you lose some. I've won more than I've ever lost, so it happens. The idea is to not beat yourself up when those situations occur. But this one actually has a better group of comics, and who knows, one of the comics could end up making up for the situation yesterday. But they do an amazing job packaging. Again, I don't know the grades. They covered them up, which I'm very happy about. They put the little tape over them. They put the blue cellophane, so this way the comics don't shift in the packaging, which I absolutely love. More companies should do that because, you could put all the packing peanuts you want and all the foam and stuff you want, but if these have the ability to move around even a little bit, that could be a reason why some other companies, somebody opens their package from the mail and the cases get cracked. And as usual, not one case is cracked here. So we're on a roll with the amount of times, every single time, my comics have arrived safely. All right, so as usual, forgive me if I look tired. It's literally, I just woke up and I wanted to do this. I didn't want to wait. As usual, I will tell you the price I paid for them. I will tell you the prediction of the grade. Now, keep in mind, when I do my predictions, I'm basing it on what I think the grade will be after a pressing and dry cleaning. No matter what company you use, I always recommend getting your books pressed because for the amount that it costs, it's so worth it because, depending on a book, an upgrade could make you hundreds of dollars. So if you're spending anywhere from $18 to $30 to press a book, depending on the grading service and the grading company, I believe PGX is only around the 15 to $18 mark. Probably a little bit higher for the more valuable books. But even still, if you went to a person that does $30 per book pressing and it goes up a point 0.5 grade, and the book now goes up about $150 in value, well, to me, that's a no-brainer. So, like I said, no matter who you do it with, absolutely, I recommend getting your books pressed. It will, most of the time, especially if you have non-color breaking creases, dramatically increase the value of your book, so it's worth it. All right, so I think, well, let's get into it. This is the first. I have two of the New Mutants 98s. Let's see. Okay, this one's the Mark Jewelers variant. This is a high, like not high grade, but it's between mid grade and high grade. I knew that when I bought it, but this I paid $522.15 for this book. So as you can see here, they do indicate that it is a Mark Jewelers. So let's make sure. Okay, yep, newsstand edition Mark Jewelers insert. I cannot see the grade because they have the sticker on it. Um, I predicted between about a 6 and a 7. I knew that when I bought it. Now, prices have gone down a little bit because the movie's over. I don't worry about those things. Most people, when they see prices drop, I mean, when you talk to stock market or any investments like gold, silver, or anything, you're going to see fluctuations. The idea is not to panic. That happens naturally. When you see dips, that's the time to buy. Deadpool was not a one and done character. The movie did well. So you're going to get the burnout from people buying and getting excited, and then they move on to something new. So that's going to lower the price for a little bit. That's the time to pounce and then watch it go back up again. And you're going to get waves because Deadpool's going to be in a lot of movies. Now that they can see that they could milk it for what it's worth, they're going to do it. And if they do it like they did with Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine and give the character the justice he deserves, and they don't DEI or destroy it, comics going to keep going up because it's going to gain new people, new fans. And some of those new people and new fans may want to look for these books. Now, the regular version, depending on if you can get a deal or not, is something you may want to stay away from. The newsstand variant I would recommend, and absolutely the Mark Jewelers variants. I cannot stress these enough. Mark Jewelers variants are only about between 5 and 7% of a total print run. So they are very rare. So let's see what we got. So I said also white pages, which is pretty normal for this book. Oh, okay, it's from the top. All right, so survey says, all right, so it's a 5.5, so a little bit lower than what I thought it was going to be. So I probably overpaid for this. That seems to be what happened with this whole group. But you know what? I'm still happy with it. We'll see what happens later on. Now, this is the second one. This is the regular one. Now, this one, I honestly don't care about the grade because I got this for $58.50. So somebody was selling this and I think either 9.2 to 9.6, I don't remember, graded Amazing Spider-Man 361. I know it was in the mid 9 range, but they sold this book raw, and it's just the regular version, and the graded Amazing Spider-Man 361 for buy it now $100. So with taxes and everything, they came out to $58 a piece. So I really don't care what the grade is, but it looked like a higher grade, and the person did say it was a higher grade book. But I mean, this could come back a 5.0 and I'll do good for 58 bucks. But I predict between a 9.0 and a 9.6. And before I do that, I forgot to read the graders notes because, by the way, they do graders notes thanks to my idea. So if you want to add graders notes to the back of your PGX books, when you place your order, you have to request it. Use the code We Love Comics Graders Notes, and it's $5 per slab. But I like having it on the back of the slab, so this way, if you're going to sell a book, people know what's on there, and they don't have to just sometimes not even find out because there are companies that will not put graders notes even on their, website. So you can get them for free by asking them to email it to you, but I like doing this. So let's read that and then I'll reveal the grade. We got creases on back cover, multiple stress lines along the spine, cover and edge wear, weak spine, 1/4 corner crease, front corner. It's always hard, especially on the edge of a book, to see creases. I mean, I don't have a microscope or anything, and I'm not going to get that detailed. But again, an off-white to white pages, I said white, so pretty close. Let's get into the grade reveal on this one. Again, I predicted this one to be between a 9.0 and a 9.6. Only paid $58 for it, so I'm going to do well on this regardless. All right, so it's a little, well, actually, no, it's in the range. So I said 9.0 to 9.6, 9.2. I'll take it. White pages, what did I say? White pages. All right, so I got that one right. So a 9.2, I paid under $60 for this book. And again, I didn't buy this years ago. I bought that this year. So they chose the deals are always out there. So that one for me was a no-brainer. Would have been nice if the grades were switched on the two, but hey, it is what it is. All right, so next one. This one, I haven't sent in a graded book in a while. Got a decent deal on this one. I remember trying to get a better deal, but hey, sometimes sellers will only go so far. I still thought it was worth it. This book has been signed by the late great Stan Lee. This, of course, is Amazing Spider-Man #6, first appearance of the Lizard. I paid with shipping and handling $718.71. It is in my prediction between a 2.0 and a 3.0 creamed off white. Very glad the signature was verified. 2.5. So there we go. Right in the middle. Perfectly fine with that. Not going to complain. So they did verify it is signed by Stan Lee and off white pages. So very happy about that. Origin and first appearance of the Lizard. So I'll read the greatest notes. Of course, there's going to be a lot of greatest notes on a lower grade book, but I'll still do decent on this, especially with the Stan Lee signature. And the weird thing about the Lizard is, like I said, this is Amazing Spider-Man #6. In my opinion, getting almost any book from issue 1 through 20 is almost a no-brainer, with the exception of, like, for example, for 8, which is the first living brain. Nobody really cares about that book. 10 is another exception. Again, if you can find deals, that's awesome, or you're trying to complete a run. I don't own either one of those books, but the rest of the books, even, like, for example, the first Ned Leeds is decent. The run is amazing. But what I find funny about this book is, even though the Lizard became very popular, his second appearance, like, for example, Doc Ock, his first appearance is Amazing Spider-Man #3. His second appearance is #7. Third appearance, #11. So very consistent. Amazing Spider-Man #6 is the first appearance of the Lizard. His second appearance doesn't come until Amazing Spider-Man #44. So they went that whole gap without ever using this character again. So it almost could have been a character that was a one and done that could have ended up being nothing. Ended up, for some reason, somewhere along the line, I guess people maybe requested him or something, and then they started adding him, and he became very popular. So 2.5, very happy with that, signed by Stan Lee. This is the one that I'm the most excited about. I sold my copy of this. I actually have 2 other copies of this. Now, this one, as you can see, is not only a newsstand, it is a Mark Jewelers variant, and I just want to make sure, okay, because yesterday we had an interesting situation. If you haven't seen the video from yesterday, I highly recommend watching it. But this does say newsstand edition, says Mark Jewelers insert. This one is a high grade. I sold my 9.4. Now, this one's a lot harder to get because of the fact, like, even though the Deadpool one is rare, this is going to be even rarer as a Mark Jewelers variant because of the fact these have temporary tattoos in them. So not only do you have to worry about it being with the grade, because remember, Mark Jewelers variants were sent only to military bases and I believe also stores around the military base. So it wasn't a large distribution. So there is only about between 5 and 7% of a total print run that are Mark Jewelers variants. this has also temporary tattoos. So the odds of maybe the coupon being used or taken out from the Mark Jewellers variant and the tattoos being possibly taken out and used makes this book hard to get, which makes it very expensive. Um, I got this one a little bit cheaper than the first one I got, but still, this is not a cheap book. I paid $674.80 for this book. But if it comes back high grade, you're talking in the multiple thousands that this book is worth because of that. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying it's rumors at this point because until something is on film and you're actually seeing it in the movie theater, anything can change. Because remember, in the first Deadpool, they had filmed scenes with Omega Red and he wasn't in the movie. So even if they say they're filming stuff or they even say they confirmed it was filmed, does not mean it cannot be edited out. But the rumors are as of now that in the next Spider-Man movie, unless they change it, Ned Leeds is going to be either a villain or the major villain. I don't think he's powerful enough to be a major villain, but they're saying that Ned Leeds is going to become the Hobgoblin, which they did set up in the last Spider-Man movie. Because I always thought, how are they going to get Ned Leeds to play the Hobgoblin when they're basically best friends? What would be the incentive? But in the scene in the last Spider-Man movie where they were in the lab getting ready to prepare all of the cures for the villains. Ned Leeds was talking to the original Peter Parker, and he was talking about how he killed his best friend. And then Ned Leeds goes to the current Spider-Man, his best friend, and says, I would never turn against you, which seemed a little odd for him to say that. But then at the end of the movie, because, spoiler alert, they all forget who Peter Parker as Spider-Man, that gives you the in of how he can end up being so evil against his former best friend because he doesn't remember him anymore. So Peter Parker still knows who they are, but the world doesn't know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So they forgot. So it's a great thing. So the potential of this character being in that movie is going to raise the value of this, or at least the potential value. But the fact also is, because it's not only a newsstand, a Mark Jewelers, and it does have the tattoos. And let me make sure they mark that. Okay. Tattoos are mentioned right here. I predicted this between a 9.0 and a 9.4. It did have some pressable defects. This is in great condition. So let's see what we got. If I can get a 9.4 out of this, I would be thrilled. Well, let's find out. Last one for the day. And we are way off. Okay. Is what it is. The person said it's a very high grade. I'll still take a 7.5 and I still will do well. That's the good part. Somebody was selling a 7.5, I think for about $1,400-$1,500. So I'll still do good on this book. I just won't do as good. All right, off white to white. What did I say? I said white. So off a little bit, but it is confirmed that it is a newsstand Mark Jewelers. It does have the tattoos. Still happy with a 7.5. I was thinking it was going to be a lot better because there wasn't a lot of graders notes, but it's been that kind of week. But again, I'll do decent on this one. Especially if he ends up in the movie, I'll do even better down the line because this is still a good book to acquire. But it says multiple stress lines along the spine, corner, and edge wear. So, I mean, could they have undergraded it a little bit? Possible. I'm not going to crack this open and regrade it. It is what it is. I'll take it. I mean, it's a nice looking 7.5. I mean, just so you could see the back of the book. The seller told me he was probably going to come back in the nines. Well, they didn't guarantee that, but they did say very high grade. But, that's eBay for you. So this week hasn't been the greatest when it comes to the grading. I don't blame the graders company. All they can do is grade it for what they see it to be. But a lot of dishonest sellers that I bought from. And I guess sometimes you're gonna lose. So again, I did well on the Amazing Spider-Man #6. I did decent anyway. The New Mutants 98 9.2 that I spent under $60 for is fine. And even though, like I said, this is only a 7.5, even though I thought it was way higher, and it shows that's probably why I'll never be a professional grader, I'll still do decent on it. So, hey, it is what it is. I really appreciate you guys watching. I'd love to get a super win one of these days. I could definitely use it. It's been a little bit of a stressful time. But as they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So if you're going through things like I am and many people are in this world, just hang in there. As they say, you know, it's darkest before dawn. So with that being said, let's do today's surprise subscriber shout outs. I'm going to pick two of you out there. So we're going to do Comics Corner, and uh we're gonna go with Florence because I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. So Florence and Comics Corner, you are both today's surprise subscriber shout outs, which means if you want to post a link in the comment section once this video uploads to a either video or YouTube channel if you have one. If you don't, you'd rather do a social network shout out, you could do a link to one of your social networks. Or if you sell anything, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be comic book related as long as it's suitable for all audiences. You could do a link to one of your sales at maybe eBay or Etsy or Amazon, any of those places. Again, it has to be kid friendly. So when you post a link, it will not show up in the comment section right away. It will go directly to spam. The reason I do that is it prohibits spammers and trolls from putting inappropriate links onto my channel. So I approve every link. So if you see a link, please go and support them. Let's show the comic community what a real community is about. And if you're somebody to post a link, don't just place a link. Introduce yourself. Tell people where they're going to go if they click on the link. Let them feel that they're welcomed and appreciated for taking the time to check out your channel or your sales. So the more effort you put in, the more effort you'll get back. So thank you to everybody that is still here. Thank you to those that participated. I hope you will take the time to enter the contest from Stephen L. Turk. I did a video about a week ago. I'm going to give it until Monday, and then I'll call the winner. And let's give our shout outs again for our Patreon members. If you want to become a Patreon member, just go to patreon.com/WeLoveComics. And if we can get up to 20 paid members, I'm starting to do giveaways, which I'll mail all the way around the world. So even if you live in Afghanistan, first of all, congratulations, you're watching my channel from there. But I'll mail it out and I'll pay for the shipping and handling. It's my way of saying thank you to my members. Because like I said, this helps not only support my channel, but helps me support my stray cats that I take care of, which is between 20 and 25, sometimes even higher. I had a new stray cat approach me the other day, and I'll feed them, so it costs a lot of money for these cans of cat food, and I'm sure if you have animals, you pretty much know that these days. So anyway, I really appreciate it. If you want to make a trade happen, check these out. Contact me at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. And as always, thank you for those that were here, took the time to hit the thumbs up button or subscribe button. And if you want to critique my AI art, it almost got it because it's supposed to be. I had the AI art say I wanted statued carvings of Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, and Deadpool. So after several attempts, this was the closest one. So they got three of the four. Deadpool looks a little weird as this gray and yellow character, so that's absolutely not Deadpool. I don't know what character that is, but that's AI art for you. It's not always going to get everything right, but hey, it is what it is. And if you appreciate it, you want to critique it, even if you want to insult it, by all means, go right ahead. Feel free. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to go relax a little bit before I have to go feed the cats in the nice smoldering heat. And don't forget, it's not you, it is not I, it is We Love Comics. Much love to you all. Thank you for the support, and I hope you have a wonderful